The first month of being a full-time creator almost broke me.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying.
Not because of money or because of work, but because nobody warned me that on the third day, I'd wake up and have absolutely no idea what to do with myself. You see, this isn't a success story. This is the messy, uncomfortable truth about what happens between choosing a life of comfort and taking risks. But what I learned in that first month changed everything, not just about how I approach creating my own life in general. So waking up with no boss, no schedule, and no structure, you would think would make you feel free as a bird. And don't get me wrong, there's a part of it which is super liberating, but then there's another part of it which comes with a huge weight of expectation and pressure, because it's up to you to make everything work. When I was in my 9 to 5, I had the mentality of that as long as I do my work and get the stuff done, it doesn't matter if I waste like 20 minutes here or 10 minutes there. It's not important because ultimately I'm fulfilling my tasks. But when you're working for yourself, every minute, every hour seems so precious that actually it even feels wrong just to take time out for yourself, you know, to do things like work out, go for a walk, have lunch. A part of me feels like I'm wasting valuable time. Now, of course, that's not the way we should be looking at it, but you really can't help it at the beginning. Over the course of the first month, I would say the biggest challenge has had to be time management. Like, how do I use my time effectively every single day? You see, when you're in a 9 to 5, that's kind of outlined for you. You know, you come in, you either have a manager or a project manager telling you this is what you're going to be doing today, this week, or this entire month. So you don't really have to think about it. But when you're running your business yourself, you want to make sure that you're tackling the most important tasks that are going to give you the biggest returns, period. And for the first 4 weeks, I had to keep changing my weekly schedule once per week because the time blocking I was doing was just not working. I was either trying to cram way too much into a day or I was putting not enough in a day. So that kind of juggling act was definitely the biggest issue for me transitioning into full-time. And I haven't even spoken about the financial anxiety kind of lingers in the back of your mind like a stalker. Even though I have savings, so I shouldn't feel as much pressure as I do because I have savings. But tell my brain to chill. It won't listen. I be saying, relax, we good, we got time. It ain't trying to hear none of that. When I was creating content while I was still in my 9 to 5, it just felt like creative expression, freedom, if you will. And now I know I need to do it to make a living. It's a little bit different. So before we move on to why I feel actually better about it now than I did at the start, I just want to let you know that if you are going through this transition, you are not alone, and it's incredibly normal to feel that amount of pressure, paralysis, and anything else that comes with it. It's normal. But listen up, here's the shift, and here's where it actually gets interesting. You may not know you're making this mistake, and I didn't know it either until I literally had an epiphany one day. I thought, so that's why I'm struggling. I mentioned earlier that I was trying to time block, but what I didn't say is that my time block was existing in a 9 to 5 structure, like as if I was back at work. Why was I doing that? I no longer have a 9 to 5. I'm not confined and constrained to those time slots anymore. And you see, with me, I'm a super creative person in the morning, not so creative in the afternoon. I mean, I can still get stuff done, but I realized I learn the best in the morning, I create the best in the morning, and I wasn't taking advantage of those things. Because in the corporate world, we're taught to reply to emails as soon as they come in. So while I would be doing one thing, as soon as an email would come in, I would stop, task switch, jump in, respond to emails, lose track of time, try and switch back to whether I was scripting, filming, editing, and you can see how gradually I was losing time throughout the day. And that's just a bad habit I picked up in the corporate world where everything is urgent, which really just means actually nothing's actually urgent. The point I'm trying to make is that if you work for yourself, you don't need to be confined to a structure that no longer serves a purpose for you. You may be somebody who needs to work out first thing in the morning, go to yoga or spin class or whatever before you actually even think about creating or doing any deep work. And if that's you, that's completely fine too. You could start after lunch if you wanted to. What we've been conditioned to know about our working hours serves one purpose. It doesn't necessarily serve ours. So honestly, the moment I stopped trying to replicate the 9-to-5 structure and just created my own was the moment I felt the most free, and I felt like I had the most autonomy over my life since taking the leap. And the hardest part about all this over the first month wasn't even the work. It was simply learning to trust myself and unlearn all the bad habits I learned being in corporate. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to say I really appreciate you. And if you found this video helpful and you could relate to it in any way, drop me a like and a subscribe as we continue to grow this channel. And if you've ever lost your job or you've had those similar thoughts and feelings, I'd love to hear from you in the comments about how you navigated it and what you did to help overcome some of those issues. And let's talk about it. Till then, I will see you. I said I will see you in the next one. Peace and love every single time. Dennis.